DJ Young Slade, the son of Lil John, has died at 27 years old. Lil John confirmed the news in a statement telling us he is extremely heartbroken over the tragic loss of his son, Nathan Smith. As we've reported, before his death was confirmed, police had been searching for Nathan after he was reported missing earlier this week near the family's home in Milton, Georgia. Authorities later located a body in a pond close to the property, and investigators worked to confirm the identity.
Everyone saw the smiles when Lil John stood next to his son Nathan on national television during their 2024 appearance on Family Feud. It looked like the kind of father-son bond people dream about. They were cracking jokes, hyping each other up, moving like best friends. Not a celebrity performing for cameras, a real connection, and you could feel it through the screen. Just months later, Nathan ran out of his house before sunrise. No shoes, no phone, no explanation. Within days, a body was found in a pond near his home in Milton, Georgia. And the world that had just watched him laugh on national television was suddenly asking what happened to Nathan Smith. To the public, he was Lil Jon's son. But to the people who actually knew him, that label never told the full story. Nathan was a music producer, not a hobbyist. Not someone killing time in a home studio. He studied sound design, mixing, and arrangement, the technical side most casual listeners never think about. Industry peers described him as calm, focused, and serious about his craft. He wanted respect for his skill, not his last name. That distinction mattered to him. Being raised in the shadow of a legend comes with invisible weight. There's expectation. There's comparison. Doors open easier, but so does judgment. Every move gets measured against a parent who already made history. By all accounts, Nathan handled that pressure with maturity. He was building something real, on his own terms. People who worked with him said he had a natural kindness, the kind that stands out in an industry known for ego and performance. He wasn't chasing attention. He wasn't loud about his ambitions. No, he just worked. That's what made what happened next so difficult to understand. Because nothing about his life, publicly or privately, pointed toward disaster. It was early Tuesday morning in 2025. Milton, Georgia, quiet suburb, tree-lined streets, the kind of neighborhood where people recognize each other's cars. Nathan ran out of his house on foot. Not walked, ran. He left behind his phone. In 2025, that detail means something. Your phone is your map, your contacts, your lifeline. For a working music producer, it's where his entire professional life lives. Leaving it behind wasn't careless. It suggested panic, or confusion, or something far more serious happening in that moment. When the Milton Police Department filed the missing person report, their language was specific. They said Nathan may have been disoriented and in need of assistance. That's not casual wording. That signals concern about someone's mental state, not just their location. Disoriented can mean many things. A panic attack severe enough to override rational thinking. A sudden mental health episode, a reaction to medication or substances, something building quietly beneath the surface that finally broke through. What made it harder was that no one around him had described warning signs. No chaos, no visible breakdown, just a young man who, by all appearances, was doing fine. And then he wasn't. Milton isn't a city where someone can disappear into crowds. It's contained, walkable, monitored by security cameras on most blocks. Search efforts started almost immediately. Police canvassed roads, wooded paths, and nearby retention ponds. Officers pulled doorbell camera footage. Volunteers spread his photo across social media. Because of his father's name, the story left Milton within hours, and the entire hip-hop community was watching. Artists reposted his missing flyers. Producers who knew him spoke about his character. The support was loud, but the updates were silent. Tuesday passed, then Wednesday. By Thursday, the mood had shifted from hopeful to anxious. For someone who was potentially disoriented from the moment he left, every hour that passed raised the stakes. Exposure, dehydration, accidents in the dark. The risks compound quickly. Search teams expanded their radius. They knocked on doors. They followed every tip. And yet, nothing solid surfaced. That silence, in a contained suburban area with active search teams, forced one uncomfortable question: where could he possibly be? The answer came Friday. Searchers found a body in a retention pond not far from Nathan's home. Not miles away. Close. Close enough that people immediately wondered how it hadn't been discovered sooner. The Milton Police Department confirmed the body was believed to be Nathan Smith. Official identification would follow from the Fulton County Medical Examiner. But based on location, clothing, and the timeline, investigators were confident. Then came the sentence that changed the entire conversation. There is no indication of foul play, no signs of struggle, no evidence of another person being involved. In legal terms, this was not being treated as a homicide. But that sentence didn't answer the question everyone was actually asking. How did he end up in that pond? Retention ponds are common in suburban Georgia developments. They're built for drainage. Some look shallow and are deeper than they appear. At night, especially for someone disoriented, the edges can be nearly invisible. Sloped, slippery banks, dense vegetation hiding the drop. It's the kind of hazard that, under normal circumstances, most people would never encounter. But Nathan's circumstances that morning were not normal. The 3-day gap is what still bothers people. He left Tuesday, he was found Friday, in a residential area that was being actively searched. Water temperature, depth, and vegetation all affect visibility. Murky ponds can hide what's inside them even during a methodical search, but the exact answers to why it took that long are still part of what investigators and the medical examiner's findings will clarify. Why toxicology and autopsy results become critical here. Medical examiners test for substances that could impair coordination or awareness, including prescribed medication taken incorrectly. They establish time of death through environmental and physical factors. They look for injuries that occurred before versus after entering the water. Until those results are public, there is still a gap between no foul play and a full explanation. And that gap is real. When police use the word disoriented and rule out another person's involvement, the conversation has to turn somewhere uncomfortable. Mental health. From the outside, Nathan's life looked stable. Support, family, a growing career. But mental health doesn't audit your circumstances before showing up. It doesn't care how solid things appear on paper. And we've seen this pattern before, not as a cliche, but as a real and recurring tragedy. Talented people who seemed grounded, private struggles that never made headlines. And then one moment of crisis that happened too fast for anyone to intervene. A severe panic attack can feel like the body and mind have completely separated. A manic episode can make impulsive behavior feel completely rational in the moment. Acute psychosis can break someone's connection to their surroundings without any warning. These aren't dramatic movie moments. They're quiet, sudden, and often invisible to everyone watching. The fact that Nathan left without his phone, ran on foot before sunrise, and was described as potentially disoriented, those details, combined with ruling out foul play, point toward a crisis of some kind. Whether it was mental health, a physical episode, or something else, the official findings will say more. But here's what this case forces everyone to confront. You cannot always see it coming. The people closest to Nathan described someone kind, calm, and purposeful. If something was breaking down underneath that, it either happened fast or it was carried privately. And in both cases, the outcome is the same. By the time anyone realized something was wrong, he was already gone. Lil John and Nathan's mother released a statement after the discovery. It didn't read like a PR response. It read like grief. Raw, private grief that was forced into public view. The conspiracy theories came anyway. They always do when someone connected to a major name in hip-hop dies unexpectedly. Industry plots, cover-ups, hidden secrets. It spreads fast, and it hurts the people already drowning in loss. There is no evidence supporting any of it. And that needs to be said clearly. What there is evidence of, in the language law enforcement used, in the circumstances of that Tuesday morning, in the silence of those 3 days, is that someone was in crisis, a real crisis. That didn't get caught in time. Nathan Smith was 27 years old. He was building something. He had people who loved him and people who respected him. And on one Tuesday morning, something shifted in a way that no one around him could have predicted or stopped. That's the part that stays with you. Not the theories, not the headlines. The simple, devastating fact that someone can be surrounded by support, appear completely grounded, and still be fighting something invisible, alone. If this story makes you think of someone in your life, reach out to them. Not a text, a real conversation. Ask how they're actually doing. And if you're the one carrying something heavy right now, you don't have to carry it alone. Call or text 988. Someone will answer. Rest in peace, Nathan.